Okay, right. So question 56. This is question 56. I'd already started just doing it. It says that it's a profiled budget, isn't it? So you have this for this period, 28,300 for 2016 to March 17. This is the total, 28,300. So that's what I have here. I put the total here. Then it goes on to say that quarterly contract payments are made over at four different points of 2,500. So you have 2,500 four times. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's 10,000. So you have 18,300 left. And it says that this 18,300 is then spread evenly throughout the year. So I've divided that 18,300 by 12 months, and that's why you have this spread like this over the year. The balance is over 12 months. And it says that actual spend from April to from April to from April to October is 17,000. Actual spend is 17,000 from April to October. So let's find what the total spend. So the spend from April to October here, can you see that 10,675? 10,675, and then from April to October we have 7,500. So let's see what the variance is. So you have a total here of 18,175, and therefore the variance will be the difference between the actual and the budgeted. So this is actual. Actual is more than budgeted by 1,175. Let's come back and see if we have this in the, yeah, there we are. So it's a 1,175 overspend. You've spent more than you planned to do. So the answer there is C. Yes, overspend. Right. So um, yes, let's just oops. This is just want to make sure this is. Oh, this is not. Was I not recording this? Oh, was I? Sorry, I'm not. Let me just be. I'm not sure if I'm not sure what I am doing here. Oh, I am recording. Right. So this is 57. It's an interesting question. This with relevant costing, we highlight the fact that sunk costs we've already paid for, are not relevant in making future decisions. Let's start with this one. So imagine you had paid a long time ago, agreed to pay some monthly capital charges. Whether you make this decision or not, you will still pay this 1,200. So this 1,200 is irrelevant when making a decision about completing another task in terms of decision making. Should we take the project or not? So this is not relevant. You have four members of staff who already earn this salary. You're bringing them from the usual tasks to this one-off job. We're not told exactly what the consequences are of leaving that other task. So those consequences would be relevant, but you're just bringing them. So you were going to pay them 3,000 anyway, whether or not they did this job or not. So the 3,000 in itself is not relevant um, in deciding whether or not they take this contract on, because um, it's not a new cost. This is an old cost. It's a sunk cost. You were going to pay it anyway. They earned this. But you can see the future issue here is that you will need to go ahead and recruit 5 new members of staff, which is equal to £16,000. So the only relevant cost here is your relevant cost of £16,000. Yeah, and that's your answer there, 16,000. Let's look at 58. Right. So we don't have enough. This is a limiting factors. We don't have enough of these kilograms, so we need to see who is doing the best for us per unit of kilogram. So let's look at this. For product Q, we get 32 pounds of contribution, and we need. So they've given us the contribution already. So we literally just need to find who is giving us the best contribution per unit of kilogram. Yes. So 32 over 6 looks like 5 and a third. 38 over 4 is looking like 9.5, and this is 8. So product R gives us the best, so we should make R first, then we should make S, and then we should make Q. So let us see if we're going to make in terms of order, we need to make all of R, and I can already see, so I know maybe I can even solve this without having to go too far. I know I have to make R, all of R, and then I have to make S, right? So these are the only two R's I have, so it has to be one. I'm just doing a process of elimination, right? I have to make all of R. I can make the 150 units of R, and um, then I have to make S next. This is the best answer here, ironically, because you shouldn't make Q before S, right? We just shouldn't, because we need to make S um, first. So your answer has to be C. It just has to be C. It might be a perfect fit because if I look at it here, I need 150. Well, it is a perfect fit. That's 600, and then you have 3 times 200, which is 600 as well. So you need 4 kilograms per unit. You make the 150 here. That's why you use up 600, and then you do the same thing. You make the 200 units of S at 3, and that's the total 1,200 kilograms used up. So you've used up perfectly um, the kilograms to make product R and product S. Right, back to variances. So this is the first time we're seeing an efficiency variance. So it says here the plan was to make 400 suitcases. You actually did make the 400 suitcases, but we're just purely looking at labor, really and truly. This is the estimation, £13 per direct labor. So we have that. That's fine. We have that. Now it says that the plan was to use to use 2,000 labor hours to make these suitcases. But what happened was that the company actually used 1,840 labor hours to make these suitcases. So um, what you now have, of course, is you have a a difference, don't you? You have a difference. So you're more efficient. You used less hours than you were meant to by, of course, that difference. You were meant to use 2,000, but you've used 1,840, right? So purely on efficiency, that is a 160-hour saving. So we cost that at the standard cost. The 160 times 13, which is 2,080, favorable because you have used less labor than you should have, right? Let's look at question 60. A company is planning a new training course. Each person will be charged, so think of that as your selling price, £500. Fixed overheads are 6,400. And then we assume that the cost per attendee would be £80. So that's your variable cost because that will only depend on the individuals turning up. So that's £420 per attendee. So therefore, if your total cost is 6,400 and the plan is that you will have 420 actually. Yes, that's no, sorry. Yes, 500 you can charge 500. You have 420. In terms of breaking even, you will need how many people? 6,400 divided by 420. You need, well, it says 15.2, so you have to round that up to 16. So you're going to have to invite 16 people. And if you have 16 people attend, you will cover that fixed cost. Break even is all about covering the fixed costs. So your contribution here is 420. Your contribution is 420. And yeah, that's your contribution. So the question is how many people do we need to turn up so that we receive this amount of money? You have 16 people, you can definitely then cover your fixed costs. So the answer there is 16 people. So good, great stuff. And that's the end of the mock.